Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
You know what's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, up the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get...
Here we go again, with Jake Paul right at the center of yet another massive controversy. One that some believe could finally put an end to his boxing career. New allegations are spreading fast, claiming Paul rigged his biggest fights, including the highly publicized Netflix clash with Anthony Joshua. As expected, the internet has erupted, with speculation spiraling out of control.
FBI agents have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed and no one is offering any...
Fueling this fire, rumors are exploding across social media that both Paul brothers were allegedly arrested over these supposed fixed fight schemes. Promoters and boxing officials have pushed back aggressively, reminding everyone that rigging professional bouts would bring severe legal consequences. Still, the cloud of doubt hanging over Jake Paul's legitimacy has reached a level we haven't seen before.
I've always been curious about this because, like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that, like, Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You going to pay me on?
This marks a dramatic turn for someone who has already dealt with an FBI search warrant at his California property. With accusations piling up and critics questioning his actual boxing ability more than ever, one question dominates the conversation. Is this the moment Jake Paul's remarkable rise finally collapses?
To me, is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? That this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest in it and fall off in the shade. Because
it's important to note that boxing analysts, retired fighters, and veteran promoters have been challenging Paul's credibility long before these arrest rumors surfaced. They point to his carefully selected opponents past their prime, questionable fight pacing, oddly timed late stoppages, and contracts rumored to contain strict conditions. To critics, Paul's ascent has always looked carefully manufactured.
In the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake.
Consequently, few seasoned figures in boxing seem shocked anymore. The same argument keeps resurfacing. Jake Paul undeniably brings massive attention and money into the sport, but his opponents are consistently chosen to minimize real risk and avoid genuine danger.
Chaps, though, isn't it?
Yeah, did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt.
I was seeing it while I was ringside.
He had a G-string on, is what he had.
Almost.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out, though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was crazy when we talked about.
This established pattern only fuels the belief that the entire operation is built to protect the Jake Paul brand rather than truly test his fighting ability. Each new controversy doesn't stand alone. It reinforces the idea that Paul's boxing journey is about control, profit, and image, not the raw uncertainty that defines real boxing.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua.
Consider the recent past. Looking back at the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, fans were stunned by how dramatic and intense it appeared. Soon after, rumors spread about a leaked script allegedly outlining the fight in advance, sending social media into a frenzy.
Punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the bar knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then got done, and he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
No. How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it?
Adding to the suspicion, alleged audio recordings then began circulating, with claims they proved key moments, Tyson slowing down, Paul's knockout, were staged from the very beginning rather than unfolding naturally in the ring.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy.
Despite the controversy, after defeating Mike Tyson, Jake Paul spoke openly about the bout, projecting total confidence. He claimed he took very few clean shots and never felt truly threatened, suggesting he controlled the fight with ease from start to finish.
Jake Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe.
Predictably, supporters seized on those remarks as proof that Paul possesses real skill and can handle even boxing legends. Skeptics, however, weren't convinced. They highlighted how cautious and uneventful the fight appeared, questioning Tyson's effort and whether the contest was genuinely competitive at all.
So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some old, so it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
How about that?
Fucking, what is he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah. But do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there...
To Paul's credit, the post-fight respect was evident. He remained professional, bowed to the legend, and handled the moment with composure. Still, many observers say the upcoming Anthony Joshua situation follows the exact same familiar pattern.
Versus Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe if you want to read it.
Unsurprisingly, commentators have labeled the matchup absurd. When comparing experience, size, competition level, and career accomplishments, the gap is staggering. A YouTube star with a 12-1 record versus a two-time heavyweight champion who spent years battling the sport's elite.
Versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing gloves throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof.
Therefore, most experts see it as completely one-sided, viewing Jake Paul less as a legitimate contender and more as a lucrative attraction. That perception only strengthens the belief that this entire spectacle is driven by entertainment and revenue first, with true sporting integrity taking a backseat.
And he is ruining his legacy just by taking this fight. Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight?
It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here. You know, a lot of people saying this can't be real. You know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua. Just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, you know, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out. You know, but we're in for a bit of fun, and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this, and I don't think he quite realises. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, you know, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but you know, if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is...
Can't speak. Yeah, but it's obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. 1, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. 2, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
No, absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. Like, Brian, give us 2. Or 3. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot round the arm and...
All that rising confidence Jake Paul is showing has a lot of experienced boxing analysts shaking their heads. The critics are saying Paul's belief that he can actually compete with Anthony Joshua is completely disconnected from reality. Joshua brings years of elite training, multiple championship reigns, and the kind of tested durability that Paul has never even come close to facing. People watching Paul's recent performances are also starting to whisper that his physical transformation and in-ring stamina might not be entirely natural. Even with all the drama and controversy swirling around, the betting money is pouring in on this fight. And that gambling action is becoming its own source of controversy around the Paul Joshua event. Regular fans, casual bettors, and some pretty famous personalities are all putting serious cash on different outcomes, which just keeps adding more questions about whether we're looking at a real sporting competition or an elaborate show designed to entertain. So, what's your take? Do you think this is going to be a legitimate fight? This skepticism is fueled by past controversies. When those leaked script allegations started spreading everywhere, fighters who had previously stepped in the ring with Jake Paul started getting hit with serious criticism, with people accusing them of selling out their reputations. Fans began speculating that Tyson basically sold his soul to Paul, destroying his legendary status by agreeing to participate in what looked like a completely fake fight. People watching the Jake Paul matches started noticing really strange moments, like Tyson supposedly giving Paul quiet coaching during the action and referees seeming to warn Paul away from certain tactics. These weird interactions just made everyone more convinced that the whole thing was choreographed ahead of time. In response, the CEO of Matchroom Boxing has come out swinging against claims that the Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight is fixed or predetermined. He's been crystal clear that if this fight happens, it's going to be a legitimate professional bout following all the proper boxing regulations, not some exhibition or scripted performance, directly challenging all the rigging rumors. Conversely, Frank Smith just dropped some serious accusations about the Anthony Joshua-Jake Paul fight, saying the whole event is way more about putting on a show than actually competing in a sport. His argument is that instead of getting a real boxing match, fans are going to witness a carefully crafted spectacle built for entertainment value, not a genuine test of who's the better fighter. Smith's position is that what people are paying for is designed to create buzz and surprise rather than honor what boxing is supposed to represent. When he calls it premium entertainment, he's basically questioning whether there's going to be any real competition or authenticity in that ring. Smith did say he's still holding on to hope that a Fury-Joshua mega fight could eventually happen. He called that potential about the most significant fight that could possibly be arranged, showing optimism that by 2026, this massive clash will actually become reality. But Smith also warned that boxing is filled with empty promises and plenty of hyped-up fights never actually materialize, suggesting that while the concept gets everyone excited, there are still tons of business and contract obstacles that need to be worked out. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has directly responded to all the scripting accusations, though his answers have created their own controversy. Hearn made jokes about the only script being Joshua's plan to come out and finish Paul as fast as humanly possible, a comment he said was meant to emphasize how serious this fight is and shut down any talk of predetermined results. But the fact that he even has to publicly mock and correct these claims just shows how much this conspiracy talk has spread among fans and critics. So, what do you think? Is this actually the moment the Jake Paul era finally ends, or is this just another controversy he's going to survive and move past? Share what you think in the comments section.